identifying key bottlenecks and engaging with local stakeholders to understand their experiences and perspectives. The committee interfaced with several stakeholders from the sub-region of Acholi, West Nile, Karamoja, and Lango sub-regions. The findings, Right Honorable Speaker, from this field visit will provide Parliament with evidence-based information for MDAs and contractors to draw or review their strategic plans for the sector in northern Uganda. This report presents the findings and recommendations of the field visit in the section of observations and recommendations. Under observations, Right Honorable Speaker, because of time constraints, I invite members to check, as highlighted above in the main report, objectives of the oversight, terms of references. The same applies for methodology, Right Honorable Speaker. On bridges, Right Honorable Speaker, Karuma Bridge, the repair works on Karuma Bridge. Right Honorable Speaker, Karuma Bridge was completed and commissioned in 1962 as a major link and gateway between the Midwestern and Northern Uganda and West Nile sub-regions. In April 2024, Right Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Works and Transport announced an immediate temporary closure of the bridge for 3 months to enable repair works. Therefore, the bridge was closed to heavy traffic with only lighter goods vehicles, SUVs, and 32-seater vans permitted to use the facility. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee was informed that the closure followed a proactive assessment in 2023 by Unra of the bridge structure to determine its integrity and soundness. Right Honorable Speaker, the assessment involved physical examination of the elements on the bridge, including the bearings, clearing of reinforced concrete structures, and checking of the deck abutment, expansion joints, and approach roads. Following the assessment, a decision was made to completely close the bridge to all traffic while restoring work is being undertaken. During the visit, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that the bridge bearings were faulty, expansion joints had worn out, structural cracks had developed underneath the deck, thereby requiring interventions to enable traffic continue to use the bridge. Right Honorable Speaker, further, the committee was informed that emergency works were expected to be completed by June 2024, after which the bridge would be accessible to all traffic. However, Right Honorable Speaker, the works were delayed and was expected to commence on the 19th of August 2024. Now that the contractor has been identified to undertake the repair works and the contract has been signed, whose details are in Table 1. I invite members to go to Table 1 in the main report. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee was informed that during the remedial works, the bridge would be closed to all traffic for a period of 3 to 4 months to enable demolition of the bridge deck, replacement of the bearings, restoration of the expansion joints, and restoration of the deck. Remedial works are expected to extend the lifespan of the bridge by a further 2 to 5 years, during which time normal traffic use will be possible. The progress of the emergency works is provided in Table 2. I invite honorable colleagues to check Table 2. The committee, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee therefore recommends as follows. Unra should ensure strict adherence to the work program for the remedial works on Karuma Bridge so that normal traffic is restored within 3 to 4 months. In any case, not later than 19th December 2024. 2. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that Unra should ensure that funding is availed for the proactive assessment of the major bridge structures across the country in order to determine their structural integrity and soundness, as this would prevent a likely sudden failure and closure that are inconveniencing road users. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee also recommended that Uganda Wildlife Authority should consider providing a waiver for public transport through the national park during the period when emergency restoration works are being undertaken on Karuma Bridge. Right Honorable Speaker, construction of the new bridge at Karuma. The committee was informed by Unra of plans to construct a new bridge over the River Nile at Karuma. The commencement date for the new bridge is expected to be September 2026, after feasibility studies are completed, among others. The current Karuma Bridge was constructed in 1962 with a design lifespan of 50 years. The ongoing repair works are expected to increase the service life of the bridge by a further 2 to 5 years. Right Honorable Speaker, therefore, it is imperative that the government of Uganda considers a long-term solution to the movement of traffic at Karuma, and construction of the new bridge is an ideal proposal by the committee. The committee recommends that Unra should expedite the completion of the necessary processes, including feasibility studies, designs, acquisition of land, and sourcing of funding, in order to ensure that construction of a new bridge at Karuma commence as planned in September 2026. Right Honorable Speaker, the impact of temporary closure of the bridge. The committee observed that due to temporary closure, travelers are experiencing delays in reaching their destinations, and movement of goods and services has been significantly affected. Despite Karuma Bridge being a crucial artery for commerce in West Nile and northern Uganda areas, it facilitates the movement of goods and services between regions and supporting numerous businesses. Currently, heavy goods vehicles have been diverted to alternative routes, including through Masindi Falls National Park, that is National Park, and through eastern Uganda, through Masindi Port, and via eastern Uganda, therefore increasing the travel time, cost of transportation, and inconveniences to road users. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that alternative route through Masindi Port is overwhelmed by increased traffic and negatively affected by floods. In addition, the public facilities at Karuma and Kamdini, such as toilets, have been strained due to increased numbers of passengers and are either side of the bridge as they await transportation using smaller vehicles across the bridge. The committee received a memorandum written by the Uganda National Chambers of Commerce, Lira branch, to execute a directive of the Unra on the 3rd August 2024, expressing concern about the significant bottlenecks to the transportation of the goods. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee further recommends that Unra should expeditiously undertake emergency repairs on Nakasongola, Zengebe Road to enable interim transportation of people, goods, services, while repair works at Karuma Bridge are ongoing. Unra should immediately deploy another bigger ferry at Masindi Port and increase the working hours of the ferries due to the significant increase in diverted traffic that the committee witnessed at Kungu landing site. Right Honorable Speaker, Unra should expedite the repair works so that normal flow is restored over Karuma Bridge. Right Honorable Speaker, another elephant in the room is Pakwach Bridge. Assessment of Pakwach Bridge. The committee noted that the bridge was commissioned in 1969 and has been in existence for over 55 years with minimal maintenance. The committee observed that there were structural cracks on the abutments, expansion joints that failed, and embankments on the western bank of the river had weakened with visible erosion. In addition, there was floating vegetation underneath the bridge surrounding the structure and impeding the river flow. This vegetation resulted in a dump load around the bridge, including the abutments and other structural elements. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee was informed that Unra undertakes various types of assessment on its bridges, including periodic, special, and routine inspections. These inspections enable Unra to determine the integrity and serviceability of the structure, including the various elements thereon. The committee noted with concern that Pakwach Bridge had evident structural cracks on the abutments and failed expansion joints. This poses challenges to the performances of the bridge and might result into sudden failure unless possible defects are comprehensively established and corrected earlier. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee was informed that the flooding at Pakwach Bridge is due to the wrong designs at Karuma Bridge. The committee therefore recommends the following. Unra should undertake an immediate special inspection of the bridge to assess its performance and correct any likely anomalies thereon. Unra should urgently design and source funding for a new bridge over the Albert Nile at Pakwach to replace the existing one. The decision should be cognizant of the unique environmental challenges faced by the existing bridge, including floating vegetation and soil instability. Right Honorable Speaker, we recommend that Ministry of Works and Transport should review the designs of Karuma Bridge so as to manage the water flow at Pakwach Bridge. The floating vegetation. The committee observed with concern that there was a floating vegetation surrounding the bridge elements within the water, thereby impeding the river flow and creating other challenges. It was noted that this vegetation is likely to lead to dump loads. On the bridge structural elements, which would result in increased risk of flooding and weakening of the bridge over time. It was also reported that another floating vegetation had been spotted downstream and was likely to arrive at the bridge in 3 days, posing a risk to the structure. The committee noted with concern, Right Honorable Speaker, that Unra has only one dredger that is used across the country, which affects its timely intervention when more than one bridge needs its services at the time. The committee recommends, Right Honorable Speaker, that Unra should institute a debris removal system and increase the frequency of dredger operations at the site. In addition, the local community should be mobilized to engage in a maintenance program for clearing the debris and floating vegetation on routine basis. Unra should immediately return the dredger that has transferred to Zengebe to Pakwach Bridge so that it can be used to clear the floating vegetation. Due to the persistency of the flooding vegetation, Unra should procure more dredgers to facilitate timely interventions on the various bridges and landing sites in the country. Degradation on the embankment of the western bank of Pakwach Bridge. The committee observed that the embankment on the western river bank had eroded and was weakening as a consequence. There were visible signs of failure and the situation was expected to get worse as there was no intervention taken to protect it from erosion. Therefore, the structural integrity of the bridge would be affected over time if the embankment was not protected. The committee recommends that Unra should urgently build a retaining wall and undertake sheet piling at the exposed embankment in order to protect it from further deterioration and likelihood of catastrophic failure. Masindi Port Bridge. The delayed construction of Masindi Port Bridge. Right Honorable Speaker, the Masindi Port Bridge is expected to be completed under Phase 4 of the Renkunye Masindi Port Apach Lera Poranga Acholebu Road Project. It should be appreciated that the bridge is under procurement and therefore the commencement date is yet to be established. Unra informed the committee that Islamic Development Bank, who are financing the road projects, have committed to funding the bridge works at Masindi Port. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that the construction of this bridge is a long-time presidential pledge, and therefore delays in commencements of works on the Masindi Port Bridge are expected to affect the optimization and the under construction of Rekunye Masindi Port Pakwach Lera Poranga Road. Right, Honorable Speaker, this is because upon completion of the road, there will be diverted traffic on the road, leading to an increase in the number of vehicles using the newly constructed road. Consequently, the delays will be longer, since more vehicles will be using the new road, and yet only a single ferry remain being used at the crossing point. Right, Honorable Speaker, further, the committee observed that the temporary closure of Karuma Bridge has increased traffic at Masindi Port Bridge. The committee was informed that the Masindi Port ferry broke down due to a lot of work. The committee therefore recommends that Unra provides a bigger ferry to manage the situation. Government should expedite the sourcing of funding and identification of a contractor to undertake construction of the Masindi Port Bridge. Right, Honorable Speaker, the national roads, Karuma Pakwach Road. The committee was informed that rehabilitation of the Karuma Pakwach Road is currently ongoing under two separate lots, namely Lot 1, Karuma Olwio, which is 43.5 kilometers. Then Lot 2 is Olwio Pakwach, which is 62.5 kilometers. The works on the two lots are being undertaken in separate contracts, but the same contractor. The previous works on the road were completed in 2007 with a design lifespan of 15 years. The